Hey, Bo here, and welcome to today's video. And today I want to talk about why you should stop trying to follow your passion or find your passion in life if you want to be successful and happy. There's a lot of talk where people say that you should just do what you love or focus on doing what you love or finding your passion in life, and then you'll never work another day in your life and everything will be fine and dandy. And that's great. I'm all for doing what you love. But I really think that that should come second, not first. You see, it's not doing what you love that makes you happy in life, nor does it make you successful. That is part of the equation, but it's really the second part of the equation, and there's something that has to come before that. There's something that has to come first. So you might love playing video games or taking strolls on the beach, but that doesn't mean doing those things is going to make you happy or successful in life. A lot of people, they live their whole life for themselves, and they are really only interested in doing what makes them happy, and people get addicted to certain things, addicted to pleasure, short-term gratification, playing video games, eating food, just thinking about how they can get what they want in their life, and these people often end up miserable and very unfulfilled. And I have been there as well. Earlier in my life, I started a business, my first business, because I wanted freedom. I wanted to be free. I wanted to be financially free. I wanted to be able to do what I wanted with my time when I wanted to and live anywhere in the world and basically own my time. And it was really all about me. And I eventually reached a level of success where I had a high degree of freedom and I didn't really have to work that much. I only had to work about an hour per day to maintain this business that I had. And what happened is once I got the success, I became lazy. I became complacent. I stopped finding joy in the process of my work. I stopped enjoying it. I started to live for comfort and short-term gratification instead of long-term fulfillment. And what happened is I got very, very depressed. Even though I had more success than I had ever had in my life, I was more unhappy than I had ever been in my life. Now, how can that be? I was just doing what I loved. I was literally doing what I loved. I was reading books. I was going down to the beach every day and meditating and just living my life how I wanted to live it. And I found that doing what you love doesn't actually bring fulfillment, and it definitely doesn't bring success, because success comes from serving other people. So forget about passion and focus on service. This is the first thing you need to ask yourself when you're trying to figure out what path you should take in life. If you want to do what you love and get paid to do what you love, you don't ask yourself, what's my passion or what do I love to do? First ask yourself, what am I good at and what do I at least enjoy doing to some degree that I could use for the benefit of others? How can I provide a value or service to this world? That's the first question you should ask yourself. And then after that, you should focus on learning how to love that. Instead of taking what you love and trying to turn that into a career or something, look at what you can do for others and then learn to enjoy the process of serving others. That is where the joy comes, at least that's what I found in my life. There's things in my life that I don't necessarily love to do. For example, making these videos today, making this video for you, is something that I was resisting earlier today. I didn't want to do this. But now that I'm doing it, I feel it is a very useful way to spend my time because it's serving people. It might only serve a few people, I don't know. But it's something that is serving the world, and therefore it is fulfilling. Even if it's not something that I love doing, I don't necessarily love putting myself out there and doing this, but I do it because it is fulfilling, because it is serving others. And I see that it's serving others, and I get feedback from others telling me that I've helped them in some way, and that is what allows me to find joy in the process of my work. So it's not that you have to love something first and then figure out how to turn that into something you can do maybe as a career or a full-time job. It's first finding the need or the desire or the way that you can help others, and then trying to find the love in that. And it has to start with where you are right now. You can't wait until you find that thing. You have to start bringing joy and love to what you're already doing. And this is exactly what I did many years ago when I was working a factory job that I really hated at the time. And I really wanted to quit this job, and I would wake up every day resisting going to this job, and I really hated it. And I did this for months. I resisted it. I'd wake up in the morning and I'd feel dreadful. I didn't want to go to work. I hated it. And one day I decided, you know what, it's just not worth being miserable about this. It's not worth resisting this and causing myself all this pain. I might as well just learn to enjoy it. Since I'm gonna have to do this for at least a little while, a few months maybe, until I find something else, I'm gonna have to learn how to just enjoy it. And I started focusing on relaxing and just trying to bring happiness to the job I was doing that I didn't like. And it was really amazing, because when I started to just focus on bringing happiness to the thing that I was previously resisting, I started to enjoy the job a lot more. Not that I wanted that job for the rest of my life, but I started to enjoy it more. And I also noticed that people that I worked with started treating me a lot differently. Like, before, they wouldn't even talk to me, and probably because I was just in a bad mood every day and no one wanted to bother me. You know, I was giving off a negative energy. But it was funny, when I started to bring a different energy to my job, people started talking to me and smiling at me and sparking conversations with me, and my whole world started to change, and I started to really see that your internal state of being and how you are showing up in the world, your attitude and how you feel, really does affect the world around you. And if you can start doing this, you'll find that it changes things much faster than it would if you were just resisting and fighting against things. And the reason for that is because it's actually scientifically proven that when you're in a state of joy or fulfillment or peace, your brain works much better. Your left and your right brain synchronize, and you become much more creative, much more resourceful, much more productive. And you can suddenly do things that you weren't able to do before when you were resisting it. So even though I didn't plan to keep that job forever, when I started to bring joy to that job, I started to become more creative, and I started to have ideas for how I could get out of that job and create something new for myself. I started to become more productive, whereas before I felt like I didn't have any time to do the things I wanted to do, or to start a business on the side or anything like that. I felt like I didn't have time. Suddenly, when I wasn't so stressed, I was able to actually maximize my time, and I would literally work on my lunch break. So my lunch break was only like 30 minutes long at this job, but I would literally work for that whole 30 minutes. And I wrote my first book in my car in the parking lot of my 9-to-5 job. And that's basically how I got started. And most people would never do that, because they're just so stressed that they just feel like, I just want to, eat. I want pleasure. I don't care about long-term goals right now. I just want to feel good now. And that's what happens when you're stressed. You just want to feel good now. So you sacrifice the long-term goals for short-term pleasure. So if you learn how to stop resisting life, and you start focusing less on getting what you want and more on serving other people and helping other people be happier and helping other people succeed, thinking how you can serve the world and bring value to the world, that takes the focus off of you. And when you take the focus off of you and your problems really disappear, because your problems are only kept alive by you continuing to think about them. So when you think about how can I solve other people's problems, you're not thinking about your own problems, and therefore you're a lot less stressed, you're a lot less reactive and anxious, and that helps you be much more effective in all areas of your life. You're more productive, more creative, more resourceful, you're more outgoing, you're more happy, you're more fulfilled naturally, and that internal state of being leads to the external life that you want in due time. I made a video about this recently. It's called The Law of Causality. You might want to watch that video. I'll link it below in the description. The Law of Causality basically states that the effects in your life, the external circumstances that you are in right now, whether it's a job or a family situation or whatever, is a reflection of your internal state of consciousness. It's how you think and how you feel which creates your circumstances in life and dictates whether you will be stuck with those circumstances or you will be able to find a way out and create a different type of life. So That video will be linked below. I hope that you got some value from this. I just want to encourage you to switch the focus from not how can I get what I want in life, but how can I serve and how can I help other people get what they want in life. And just that switch will help you become so much more successful in whatever you decide to do. And you will learn to love it, because joy comes from service, not selfishness. So keep that in mind, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.